What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my podcast, The Atlanta Audible. I'm your host, Ice Ray, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about free agents that the Falcons should target. With free agency set to kick off on March 11th, new general manager Ian Cunningham will have his hands full trying to fill out this Atlanta Falcons roster. With the upcoming release of Darnell Mooney, wide receiver is going to be a big need for the Falcons this offseason. Drake London and Casey Washington are the only receivers currently under contract for Atlanta. While Atlanta can and should add receiver depth in the draft, Omar Cooper Jr., please, there are still some names that they should try and target in free agency. This free agent wide receiver class has some very interesting names. Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, and Rashid Shaheed are all set to hit the market this offseason. However, these players are either too old to fit Atlanta's timeline or too expensive, with 3 of the 4 commanding over $17 million annually, and Rashid Shaheed reportedly searching for a contract with $18 million average annual value. 2 younger guys who could fit the bill in Atlanta are Alec Pierce and Wan'Dale Robinson. Pierce is 25 years old, set to turn 26 this season, and just had the first 1,000-yard season of his career. He excels as a deep threat, and his abilities and skills would perfectly replace the Darnell Mooney that the Falcons saw in 2024. Unfortunately, it's likely that he's going to demand way too much money this offseason, with reports saying that the Patriots are ready to shell out $30 million annually for the wide receiver. Another name to watch for in Atlanta would be Wan'Dale Robinson. Robinson also had the first 1,000-yard season of his career, and his 92 receptions were the 9th most in the NFL in 2025. Similar to Pierce, he's another fast guy, and the Falcons desperately need speed to complement Drake London. The Giants have given no indication whether or not they'll re-sign Robinson, and if he hits the market and it doesn't break the bank, the Falcons should be all over that. Unfortunately, it's likely that he'll ask for more money than the Falcons can spend. And he deserves it too. He was great in 2025. Realistically, the Falcons can snag Jalen Nailor. Nailor spent the first 4 seasons of his career with the Minnesota Vikings. His 10 receiving touchdowns over the past 2 seasons are more than any Atlanta Falcons weapon not named Drake London. Although his 40 isn't anything crazy at 4.5, he was nicknamed Speedy at Michigan State. He's fast enough to help the Falcons out on offense. And he only has 1,066 career receiving yards. He should be relatively cheap. So these are the wide receivers that the Falcons should target in free agency. And I fully expect Jalen Nailor to be signed sometime soon. Another place the Falcons would need depth at is linebacker, especially with Ian Cunningham not committing to Caden Ellis. He's a free agent. We'll see how that goes. He's a guy that we're evaluating. There are a lot of linebackers in this market, and we also have to take a look at our cap situation. Cunningham said at the Combine. Devin Lloyd is a guy who's likely going to be a cap casualty in Jacksonville, and he's a great player, especially at linebacker. But unfortunately, the Falcons won't have the money to sign. Realistically, the Falcons should sign Nakobe Dean. Dean is only 25 years old and had 55 total tackles in just 10 games last season, including 7 tackles for losses. Caden Ellis, who's one of the best blitzing linebackers in the NFL, had less sacks than Dean in more games played. At quarterback, Joe Flacco would make the most sense for Atlanta. He can be signed to a 1-year deal worth $5 million. And he has familiarity with head coach Kevin Stefanski, whose system helped him win Comeback Player of the Year in 2023. I would like Kyler Murray if it's on a 1-year deal worth the vet minimum. I like Kyler. I think he's a good player, a lot better than people are giving him credit for. But this is more about the long-term future of Atlanta. Realistically, the 2026 season is the final chance for Michael Penix Jr. to prove that he's that guy. The 2027 quarterback class is absolutely stacked, and if Penix isn't the franchise guy, the Falcons can move on and get their guy for the future in that season. Now, if the Falcons sign Murray to a 1-year deal and he beats out Penix and absolutely balls out, I'm talking 40 passing touchdowns or something like that, then the Falcons can re-sign him to a bigger deal and they have their quarterback of the future. If he comes on a 1-year deal and he beats out Penix, but he's mid, doesn't look better than he has the last few seasons, then the Falcons can still move on and draft their guy of the future in 2027. That's why a 1-year deal makes more sense for the Falcons. I think, ultimately, the Falcons will go with Joe Flacco. He knows Stefanski, he's cheap, and you know exactly what you're getting out of him. If he has to start, he can spam Drake London like we saw him do with Chase in Cincinnati and win a few games. Lastly, the Falcons should add some depth at cornerback if possible. A guy that I like and the Falcons should target that's relatively cheap is Asante Samuel Jr. Samuel was with the Steelers last season and recorded his first interception since 2023. He was on a one-year deal worth $1.25 million, and his father played for the Falcons. It's a great fit, and he's cheap. So these are the guys that I think the Falcons should target in free agency, the guys that I want to see them bring in. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a sub. Ice Ray out.